Project Eden presents. Good day, this is Oleg Seriy and Maritsava, written from my book The World of Unicellular. Episode number 2. The Book of Jamjigism. Chapter 1, or the holiest book about life, sins and him. First, how Jamji created the world. At first, there was a world, and the world was actually two words. One not George. There was Jamjik, a good fella who was living peacefully in one of the ghettos of the universe until buggers got to him. Give away, they say, all the pot you have. And Jamjik told, motherfucker, and there was motherfucker. Jamjik took a gun tube and smacked some bugger on the dam. And there started butchery. Blood, flying bodies, and teeth on the concrete. To cut it short, Jamjik bumped and the buggers off, and there was nowhere to bury them. So damn it, he created the earth and settled down there. Grew pot and other grass to make life brighter, or else you can't get fried up. He created vegetables and beasts of all kinds just to nibble on them. Some kinds of donkeys were created, just to take a few examples. Diplohonuses and Damnaceis. Then he took to making topography. When a superb designer he rose. He went to school, there you have America. He spread out his pot to dry it, there you have Kazakhstan. He found a place to cool his booze, there you have Russia. So he tortured our poor old earth in a big way. He lived on, and all the time he lacked imagination as for human elements, for the time being. 2. How Jamjik has created all these people. In short, Jamjik sat on a stone, read Charles Marx, and smoked pot. Well, he became woozy and had some glitches. In such condition of complete detachment, Jamjik also has created admin and pleva, according to the image of his glitches. Admin and pleva were rubbing along the same, as around the Chuisky Valley. Jamjik spoke, live on a horseradish, even do not pay the rent. But remember, if you smoke pot from a sacred tree of hemp, a piece up will be with you on a horseradish. Ask Mahmoud for a pot. So, admin and pleva lived and lived till they have smoked all the pot of Mahmoud. And Mahmoud didn't collect a new crop, a bastard. So, comes and speaks to the admin and pleva. Why do you behave as chupacabras? There are much pot on sacred tree, and Jamjik will grow up more. He is a great master of his business. So, they also have blown a sacred pot, and they were so flattened and covered that they have departed from the Chuisky Valley to Magadan. Jamjik has told, and fucking hemp smokers, caught it at last. Well, live as you want. It's up to you, but never cross the threshold of my place. 3. On Stone and Afiga. Admin and pleva have moved more to the center and have lodged at the posher summer residence. They had 2 sons, Stone, in honor of a stone on which Jamjik sat while creating people, and Afik. Afik knows why he was named in such way. Stone traded at East Market and Afik on Western. Stone was doing quite bad, it was necessary even to pledge the house in currency trances. And Afik at the same time bought Audi. Wow! So, Stone rated on Afik 2 cops, saying that his brother sells moonshine. In short, Stone was a rat. Oh, and Jamjik speaks, do not rat on, do not polish off, and do not bump off other men. 4. About Gno and his steamboat. The dudes were rubbing along the same as ever. They were revealing so much that even scenes get a little wild and woolly. but somehow many guys began to treat themselves to some moonshine, cocaine and acid. Jamjik looked around, inhaled and said, "Hey dudes, you're flip-shower. I'll get you done," and decided to send all them to the damned bottom. But still not all of them. There was a guy called Gnoi. So, he was a true fan of Jamjik and a follower. So were his relatives. In short, Jamjik told him, "Let's cut the bullshit. Soon there will be a flood. All the central regions will be damned submerged. Weather forecast will inform nothing. In short, build the steamboat, take your relatives and different animals to it, and get out of here as soon as possible." Gnoi built the steamboat and called it Titanic, dredged different animals and sailed along the lines of Turkish coast. Suddenly it rained and everything was submerged. They didn't sail to Turkey. Portable radio set didn't work. Game over, in short. People sailed, smoked pot, ate the half of the animals. After the Georgians, the dinosaurs disappeared, and Yeti, Yephalams, Mammons too, and other members of Red List of that time. Sometime in September they stopped. The call ended up. What to do? They let out the parrot called 1E Jumbaroki, who flew back in a few hours with twig of hemp. It flew back smiling, blinking with one eye, and said, "There are Armenians growing hemp." Gnoi says, "What is the shit with you, blah blah?" Fly again and take the warner. Bring everything. In short, after a few days they put it near the mountain Ararat. It's named in honor of the football club, and founded the city of Chubankan. 5. About Araman and Bunko. Jamjimen were just living and puffing. Their town Chubankan was really prospering. Even the Olympiad was taking place there. But Jamjik decided to check where the local authority, well known by everybody as Araman, he is probably Armenian, would bunko him. Jamjik is coming to Araman and saying, "You think that you are the real Jamjiman? I think so too, but I doubt this a little bit." In short, I decided to check. Shit, I need to think up something. Okay, you and your sons suck won't be smoking pot for 1 year. You can trade it, cultivate it, but don't dare to smoke it, or in that case I will come and fuck up all your business. Araman doesn't really have a predilection for pot, but his son does. In short, it was rather hard task. When Suck came home, he saw that his father was in mourning. "What happened, Kingpin?" "Did footpaths were bothering you?" Suck said. "Oh no, Sonny. Jamjik, damn it, was here. He tells that we are not able to smoke pot for whole year. Motherfucker!" "Okay, father, if Jamjik has said, I will loads. We are if we won't listen to him. Do you understand that Bunko is a rotten business? You're telling the real thing, Sonny, let it be." So, they hadn't been smoking for a whole year, and then Jamjik came to their house and have gave them pipe. So they smoked together, selected Hawaiian pot. Araman became the real Jamjiman since that time, because he didn't disobey the Jamjik order. 6. On Maturganchiks. Chubankan became the capital of Jamjik National Republic. All people were prospering, but suddenly their lousy competitors showed up in the shame of malicious Maturganchiks. Maturganchiks, from the word Matur, the old Honduran language, Irakok, are the inhabitants of Maturgan, a city in the east of the land. In short, to get there by taxi appeared to be rather expensive. Maturganchiks confessed to Banakorhism, that is a malicious religion based on the use of heavy drugs. In the aggressive activity, Maturganchiks used nuclear, chemical and bacteriological weapons that completely contradicted the ideology of Jamligims. Maturganchiks started their acts of aggression towards Jamjik Republic, what entailed a long and bloody war, which eventually resulted in Chubankan downfall. On that side, Maturganchiks founded Abrivalk city. Every single Jamji man was sent to a concentration camp and was subjected to a policy of genocide. People were poisoned with gas, forced to use heroin, to smell glue. In short, there was a gun rule. As for Jamjik, at that time he left on business. In short, the Jamji men were like dead meat. Besides, Maturganchiks proceed all the chronic and made synthetic pot of it. In short, there was a hunger in the country. There was no HMP, no pot, no freedom as well. Our prisons were under the raid. In Bumburistan, Abdullah ben Anashi Ali exited a rebellion and formed a pluripotent republic. But contrary to the Geneva agreements, Maturganchiks applied air-cursion chariots in combat and won a victory, having bumped off Abdullah and his brothers in mind. Soon Maturganchiks published the law on Jamj, where Jamjamenism was completely forbidden, and they started propagating root and Tubanakohism. In short, only Kutak Pass city was free from Maturganchiks, where there lived the descendants of Araman. They became a stronghold of the resistance rising all over the republic. Liberation was not far off. 7. About the commander Moishe Rabinovich and old-time Jamja. A large army headed by Moishe Rabinovich was gathered in Kutaklas. Moishe was a brutal warlord. In short, he gathered an army and moved to Abrivalk. They came to town and met in a little battle with the army of Maturganchiki. Moishe used the secret plan called Polish of the Ashholes and took the initiative in the battle. But then Maturganchiki began to use cluster bombs, which sprayed during the explosion radioactive gas purgen, which caused unprecedented and at time diarrhea for Jamji men. Maturganchiki squeezed Jamji men into the arena and began to take them off in full. But then Jamji came back from the mission. He looked at this act and turned. With a crazy cry, "Our people are beaten!" he threw all the celestial Jamji to the battle, and his favor helped a lot to defeat Maturganchiki. He was thrown away to their fucking historical homeland. Jamjik built a wall for them that prevented them from more attacks on Jamji men. And Jamji men went into mourning. All the land of the Republic was deteriorated because of the gas purgen, and there was no place to plant grass. Well, Jamjik says to the Moishe, "In short, take your fucking people, go to the big mountains and go right, then left, and then straight. And then you will see a giant valley by Lenin, where the river Chu flows. A lot of grass grows there and the climate is good. You'll live there." 8. About pace guiding of Moishe Rabinovich. In short, Jamji men in the head of Moishe went to the Chuyski Valley. Long and long they went there. The people started to ascend there, fucking up to Jamjik himself. By turn Moishe persuaded Jamji men as he could, like, "All fine, in short, we're almost there." And so they went further. Generation of Jamji men has passed, but there was no sight of the valley. They have exhausted all their stocks. At that moment Moishe decided to contact Jamjik himself, so was deep to the astral world, computer network of those days, and sent a letter to Jamjik. "People demand bread, grass and circuses. Something must be done." And so Jamjik had sent Moishe a fax with holy conceptions of true Jamji men. Here is the full text of this letter. Jamjik is the man god, as he is a real dude. Those who say that Jamjik isn't real is a hell of a dead man walking. Jamjik has a full name, that is Abdul Jamja Valdemarovich Ibn Chupacabra Singh Zilberman. Jamjik created the earth and all the inhabitant dudes. All the birds have to acknowledge Jamjik as a real guy. All the people, or the guys, or the dudes, are named Jamjiman. Every real Jamjiman must live by the rules. Rules. First, don't polish off other guys. Second, don't pinch. Third, don't work other dudes and chicks. Fourth, don't say that Jamjik is not a real man. Damn, Jamjik is a dudester. Fifth, don't come up with different glitch stuff, which would replace your bot and hand. 6. Jamjik is a real man. He is the supreme dude and no other is high above him. 7. So, there are 7 days. Got it? Jamjik says, real men work hard all week, and then at Saturday, they sleep on their beds and smoke some pot. People would ask, what about Sunday? And Sunday is Kadzenyama. 8. Jamjik says, every man has to respect his ancestors, otherwise his fatality will be. 9. Don't fill your neighbor's mouth, cause Jamjik will come and fucking harakiri will be for you. 10. Jamjik doesn't care about your moral and material appearance in this world. You're essentially Jamjik. Then, in short, Moshe came to Jamjiman with all that pot and got stoned. Most of the people got trashed with heroin and raised a monument to Matur, sovereign god of Maturgans. What the hell? In every hole and in the crotch crack I'm gonna pump you dry, said Moshe to Jamjiman gently. And from that moment loads of repression spilled up from Moshe and Jamjik. Every junkie was impaled and stringed up on a gibbet. All the others forced to memorize war in peace. After mass genocide, Jamjiman went forward. They went and went. And then Anna came upon them. All the bot stock swapped on foot. And then Moshe started beginning. And Jamjik sent them heavenly jamja and beer of Karaganda. And the people satisfied their hunger. Eventually Moshe died somewhere by the road, before he reached the Chuyski Valley. But his people did, and they established their new city, called Achalai Machalai. 9. On the second war with Maturganchiks, or war after Pumpururum. About 100 years ago, a wise and a fair ruler, Hashish Magan Betrovich, governed the Second Folk Republic of Jamjiland, as Jamjiman named their new state. He became famous for extending the borders of the republic to the ham fields of Afghanistan. The republic prospered and became basis of peaceful international relations. Anyway, but in the West there were dark business with participations of Maturganchiks. With the help of diplomacy, bribes and force, they achieved the destruction of Nell and confession of the fascist state in a world association. In union with the puppet state of Pumpururum, being in the neighborhood with the Second Folk Republic Jamjiland, they founded the Union of Tupakaban, having a goal to take fertile oasis of Jamjiland and set them with different mock aggression that was undertaken by Maturganchiks was based on permanent boundary collisions with Jamjiman. But in one, not very much any day, the army of Tupacabana passed a border and began to bomb-proof peaceful citizens from grab guns. Hashish ordered his troops to gather and go out to the borders of the Republic. But there was an autumn, and it was rather difficult to collect an army, because all flew away in Nirvana after the great day of liberation, on November the 10th. Well, and Hashish made statements on radio. Hey, people! You are sweetie dude! Don't you understand anything till you grab some grab? Earth and Maturgashans too came. Such problems we have!
And you, damn Jamji man, you are great people. You were bumped off, and you got up on feet and hauled off dolls away. But now, time changed, and the grass is not a controlling sin in our life. In fact, our freedom is set on a stake. Hey man, be my quest on raising the country. You are the real fighters, and Dollarant. Who against you? My Turganchik's freaks will go away from our wars, and after our victory we will arrange such bruise up that Tolkien will come.
Get up a country in armors, get up on a death fight with fascist force dark. All will be a trin grass. The fucking up has reached people, and they finally pulled up their socks. The Jamjiman army was gathered in a moment, and now on the battlefield face to face there are two hand-picked armies of two unappeasable cities, Maturgan, the servants of evil army, and Tahalai Mahalai, one-night stand army. Our guys wore the red uniform, hostile the blue one. Quests were the first to take the initiative. They were even dead to give a bloody nose to our officers, and the only response the red guys could give was to make some distant glance towards the quest's left flank. By the 30-minute one night took a chance for countercharge supported widely by the defense regiments and the training area. A couple of times the quest general helped them out with his heroic defense commanding. Still, by the time of a break, the girl hosts succeed to open a score. The right-hand rifle section has been completely knocked out. After a little rest, the quest took a plunge into an adventure, throwing the trains for attack. And it's been their last and critical mistake in the match. Jamjimen burst into the center and crashed the whole central platoon namely. They had exterminated the general and the good half of his defenders. Domination of the Reds lasted till the very ending of the match. At last there comes the final whistle. Everyone rushed to work the blue ones. Hashish cries out, "Work the gaylords!" And the circle with the locked-on Maturganers started to shrink. And so did the Jiggy. By the way, suddenly the huge Pumpurum's platoon shot under London. "Trick back," said Gashish, and rushed to the battle in the first flight. Having backed 26 dead beats from the neighboring country, Gashish missed the sudden kick at his germ mate with a baseball club made of aluminium, and then had been taken to the intensive care. Now, Brigadier General of Liberation Army in the fucking shitty region, Yuhkambur Armor Vinchimi took the command. He gripped AK and will yell, "Twig the dickhead says!" Dashed to a battle, just like Hashish did before. The battle lasted for 3 days and 3 nights, and finally, on the fourth day, they housed the troop of Jamjiren Reef for the last maneuver. They had dug a huge gap underneath the Pumpurum's camp and sank it into the pit of hell. The celebration of the victory lasted for 20 weeks, and the 3-year stockpile of pot, which has become a 6-fold cheaper now, has been smoked out. Hashish recovered and presented chimney with the middle of marks and Saint Pumpurums, and Maturganchik's fate had been determined after the celebration. Purumpurum was transformed into proletariat Party High Republic as a part of Jamjiland, while the Maturganchik were deported to the immense vastness of Sahara Desert that has thrown them back for several centuries in their evolution. But with this war, some independent sects that have appeared in the Jamjigism dictions. On the independent flows in Jamjigism.
It's done. The giving up smoking of pot and no interference of Jamjik in the war served as catalyst for some changes in Jamjikism. As a result, some isolated flows arise: Orthodox Jamjikism, material Jamjikism, and real Jamjikism, and also the allegation of some members of the second last flows in the alternative Jamjikism. And if the first two went on living by laws of moisture, three other flows significantly reform their face. A. The material Jamjikism. The materialists founded the flu because of non-interference Jamjik in the second one. They grounded the teaching as self-reference in Jamjik, as a real creature, but in the same time they do not consider him to be a god and generally deny any god worship. They consider Jamjik to be some kind of the guy living highly in mountains and smoking pot. Of course, Jamjik has paranormal capabilities in their comprehension, but nevertheless he is a material and his death is quite possible. In opinion of materialists, Jamjik didn't create the earth, but brought people exactly from the previous place of residence. The materialists also use grass in the achievement of higher beatitude, as well as orthodox persons do. Practically they do not differ from orthodoxies in culture, but they do not wear sacred amulets with Jamja and believing in its divine origin. They follow the conceptions, which do not concern the divine origin of Jamjik, and where they are, the concepts are important. They walk around it aside, as well as Jamjik. B. Real Jamjikism. Realists believe in Jamjik as well as Orthodox Jamjiman, and their main difference is they don't smoke the pot. It has been just after the war. Many citizens had seen that they were able to live without pot, and it was quite good and it was even healthy, because nobody forbade drinking beer. In some months after the war, some plantations with hemp were closed and there was hop planted. Realists understand that the excessive use of hemp reduced the moral decay of Jamjiman, but at the same time they consider that at the higher level of society development it will be possible to live without pot. C. Alternativists have joined two previous movements in one new movement which became the most progressive, but not the most veritable in understanding of orthodoxies. Alternativists stopped to smoke pot and recognize Jamjik as a dude, as in materialism. In short, they have united two streams and became atheists. Not in all, but they did it. In the doctrine, they are based all on the same one. About it tells their slogan, without the pot and Jamjik, but with life. From concepts of Moshe they took only morally ethical, if so it is possible to call them. Despite of such split, Jamjikism, unlike other religions, hasn't broken up and continued to exist, as it was the most democratic religion at that time. Kashish concluded the alliance with representatives of all current Jamjikism and has collected Council of Beliefs, which has designated near future contours. It has served the creation in the future in Jamjiland, the first communistic state in the world. 11. On unreal types to Pupkin mumbling. Nearly in 50 years in Jamjiland the presidential elections was organized. And Orthodox Avtol Kamusutrov won, but he was killed by the mercenary, employed by militia neighbor of Jamjiman, Kingdom of Vaflagonia. That is the end of the second episode of the World of Unicellular, written by me, Oleg Seriy and Maritsabo. The music was by Project Eden Enterprise.
Bye.